letterpress printing is obsolete. It has been for a long time. That's nothing new. And the reason that I think why it's interesting to me as an artist and why it's interesting to me as an educator is the kinds of discipline and thinking that it demands of people who do it. That the kind of attention that it focuses, the way the language literally becomes a physical thing in your hand. It has volume, it has weight. As you assemble the letters, the text literally grows heavier in your hand.
Hurry slowly is something that CC students have to do a lot of on the block plan anyway. That is, you're working in a very focused way, you are hurrying in that you have a lot to do in a small amount of time, but on the other hand, you have to do it slowly and carefully to do it right. And letterpress work is very much that way. You can't hurry or you're going to spill your type everywhere, which I've done.
Everything is tedious and everything takes forever and everything never goes as you've planned it. And because of that, it makes it worth it to have like the coolest final product and you're willing to put in the time.
For students who feel tired and exhausted and grumpy and frustrated with their whatever block they're in, there's something for many students, I think, that's really comforting and feels good about getting your hands inky and making something that you can go, I made this.
One thing that's really cool about presses is that they attract like-minded people, and so I know that wherever I go, whether it's Portland or Brooklyn or Seattle, wherever, I can find a community print shop and find someone who I could be friends with, and that's pretty cool.
We're arming students to have rich lives, that we need not grovel before the economic machine which is going to eat them up. I mean, this is a moment when we can pause and reflect and model the delight we take in beautiful things, and also understand that that delight is inseparable from what we then are able to do with it.
All of the empty spaces, the negative spaces, the spaces between words, the spaces between lines, all of that's a physical object that is very carefully chosen and arranged. So one's awareness of the space of a page and of a book and of the letters themselves, I think, heightens to a large degree. And when you start to see things like that as a very detailed objects that can be manipulated, that can be changed, and when you know how books are made, when you know how things are printed, you know how messages are constructed, you know how information is distributed, it's a very empowering thing. And that, I think, is a really important part, just so that these objects, these books that have been in our culture, have been a huge part of our culture for so long, aren't so mysterious anymore.
It's an object that's put together for holding by a human being on an occasion, and it shows all of the if you sniff it long enough, there's a scent of all the mystery of what people were doing with that book across time. So I think when we go to the press and we make things, we come to understand that in a way we don't if we read about it.
Why small presses are an important part of culture, and always have been, is that they are the presses that are the ones who are not so much hung up on profit and selling books as they are getting new and exciting work out into the world.
Because finally this is about beauty and the appreciation of beauty. And that may seem counterintuitive to someone going for the first time to a letterpress operation and seeing people with grubby hands stooping over leaden machines, but that is what it's about. It's about a particularly rich knotting together of varieties of beauty.